What's happening, Lakers faithful? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, your go-to destination for breaking news, insider updates, and everything surrounding our beloved purple and gold. Today I'm bringing you something that's going to fundamentally shift how you view this franchise moving forward. The landscape in Los Angeles has changed in ways that most fans haven't fully processed yet. And the ripple effects of what's happening right now will define this organization for the next decade. I'm not talking about a trade deadline move or a coaching adjustment. I'm talking about something much bigger, something that challenges everything we thought we knew about Lakers basketball. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the decisions being made in our front office right now are either going to launch us into a new golden era or haunt us for years to come. So make sure you stay with me until the very end, because this goes places you're not expecting, and the implications are massive for every single one of us who live and breathe Lakers basketball. The Los Angeles Lakers have always been defined by star power. From Magic and Kareem to Kobe and Shaq, from Pau Gasol to the current era, this franchise has built its legacy on having transcendent talents wearing purple and gold. We're not just another NBA team. We're the most storied franchise in basketball history. And with that comes expectations, pressure, and a constant need to remain relevant on the biggest stage. But something extraordinary has happened this season, something that hasn't occurred in 20 years, and it's forcing everyone from management to media to fans to completely recalibrate their understanding of what this team is and where it's headed. Let me set the stage for you. The Lakers are currently sitting at 15 wins and 4 losses. That's an elite record, the kind of start that has championship written all over it. We're dominating opponents, playing cohesive basketball on both ends of the floor, and looking like legitimate title contenders in a Western Conference that's absolutely loaded with talent. But here's what makes this record so fascinating and so telling about the state of our franchise. We achieved this success while navigating something that would have been unthinkable just a couple of years ago. We've won games, big games, important games, without our most recognizable player on the court. And I'm not talking about role players or bench pieces. I'm talking about someone who's been the face of this franchise, someone who's carried the weight of expectations, someone whose name alone sells out arenas and generates headlines across the globe. The dynamics in the Lakers locker room have shifted in a way that reveals both the incredible depth of our roster and the uncomfortable reality that no player, regardless of their legacy or accomplishments, remains the centerpiece forever. Basketball is a business, and businesses make decisions based on current value and future projection, not past glory. And right now, the Lakers are making decisions that suggest they're thinking much more about the next 5 years than they are about honoring what came before. Let me bring you into what's actually happening, because the surface-level narrative doesn't capture the complexity of this situation. When the Lakers pulled off that blockbuster trade back in February, sending Anthony Davis to Dallas in exchange for Luka Doncic, it sent shockwaves through the entire NBA. Nobody saw it coming. The league was stunned. Fans were divided. Some called it genius, others called it madness. But now that we're deep into this season, and we've watched Doncic operate in our system, surrounded by our culture and our talent, the picture has become crystal clear. We didn't just trade for an all-star. We traded for the future face of the franchise. Luka Doncic, at 26 years old, is already one of the 5 best players on the planet. He's an MVP candidate every single season. He's the kind of generational talent that franchises build around for 15 years, and we got him in his prime. The fit has been seamless. Doncic's ability to control tempo, create for others, and take over games in crunch time has elevated everyone around him. And here's the most important part that I need you to understand. The arrival of Doncic has created a fundamental shift in the hierarchy of this team, and that shift has implications that extend far beyond just basketball strategy. For the first time in 2 decades, for the first time since he was a teenager coming out of high school, LeBron James is not the main man of the franchise he's part of. Think about that for a second. LeBron James, arguably the greatest player in basketball history, a four-time champion, a four-time MVP, a player who's been the undisputed alpha on every team he's ever played for, is no longer in that role. And this isn't a situation where he's lost a step or can't compete at a high level anymore. The man is 41 years old and still averaging over 20 points per game when he plays. He's still capable of taking over quarters, still making plays that leave you shaking your head in disbelief, still showing that basketball IQ and court vision that's made him special for his entire career. But basketball is about more than individual statistics. It's about team dynamics, future planning, and making difficult decisions about who you're building around. And the Lakers, whether explicitly stated or not, have made their decision. Luka Doncic is the present and the future. He's the player this franchise is centering everything around, and everyone else, including LeBron James, falls into a supporting role within that structure. Now, I want to be absolutely clear about something before we go any further. This isn't disrespect to LeBron. This isn't diminishing what he's accomplished or what he's meant to Lakers basketball. The man brought us a championship in the bubble when we needed it most. He's been professional, he's been a leader, and he's still producing at an incredibly high level for his age. But the business side of basketball doesn't care about sentimentality. It cares about championships, it cares about maximizing your window of opportunity, and it cares about making difficult decisions before they become crisis situations. And that's exactly where we are right now with LeBron James and his future with the Los Angeles Lakers. Stephen A. Smith, who's never been shy about his opinions and who's had his fair share of disagreements with LeBron over the years, recently addressed this situation in a way that I think captures the reality perfectly. He acknowledged that LeBron, even dealing with sciatica issues and being 41 years old, can still come back and average over 20 points per game. That's not the question. The question isn't about whether LeBron can still play. The question is about whether it makes sense for the Lakers to have him in their long-term plans. And according to Smith, if the Lakers had their choice, they would trade LeBron James, not because of his game, but because of his age and because of what they have in Luka Doncic. Smith put it plainly when he said that Luka is 26 and represents the future, and you want young talent playing significant minutes, not someone who's 41 and potentially retiring in the next year or two. That's not a criticism of LeBron's ability. That's just reality. That's the business of basketball, making its presence known in a way that's uncomfortable but necessary. The Lakers are sitting at 15-4, and here's what should concern everyone who's been paying attention. Some of those wins came with LeBron sitting out for load management. He's been dealing with left leg issues, and the expectation is that he'll sit out many more games throughout this season. The Lakers have learned they can win without him. They've learned that their system, their talent, and their young core can carry games when needed. And that's both good news and concerning news, depending on how you look at it. It's good because depth matters in championship runs. It's concerning because it makes LeBron more expendable than he's ever been in his entire career. Let's talk about Austin Reaves for a moment, because his emergence this season is directly connected to this entire situation. Reaves has been the surprise breakout star of the 2025 through 26 season. His scoring has improved, his decision-making has matured, and he's playing with a confidence that suggests he's ready for a much bigger role. Reaves benefits enormously from playing alongside Doncic, but he's also proven he can be a primary ball handler and shot creator when needed. The Lakers suddenly have multiple players capable of running the offense, multiple players who can create their own shot, and multiple players who don't need LeBron on the floor to be effective. That's roster construction working the way it's supposed to, but it also makes the presence of a 41-year-old legend with injury concerns and a massive salary less essential to winning basketball games. Now let's address the elephant in the room that everyone's thinking about but nobody wants to say out loud. The Lakers are going to have to make a decision about LeBron James sooner rather than later. His contract situation, his age, his injury history, and the arrival of Doncic have all combined to create a scenario where moving on from LeBron becomes not just possible, but potentially necessary for the long-term health of the franchise. And here's where I need you to really hear what I'm saying. This isn't about being disrespectful or unappreciative. This is about recognizing that all great careers eventually come to an end, and the organizations that win championships are the ones who make difficult decisions before they're forced to make them in desperation. The Lakers could keep LeBron for the rest of his contract, let him retire in purple and gold, and honor his legacy appropriately. That's certainly one path, and it's the sentimental choice that many fans would prefer. But there's another path, one that involves trading LeBron while he still has value, acquiring assets that can help this team compete for championships with Doncic as the centerpiece, and allowing LeBron to finish his career somewhere that can offer him a bigger role and more playing time without the pressure of being in Los Angeles. Neither option is wrong, but one of them maximizes our championship window, and one of them prioritizes legacy over logistics. The front office is paid to make the hard decisions, not the popular ones, and I genuinely believe they're considering all options when it comes to LeBron's future with this team. Think about what a trade could look like. LeBron still has name value, he still produces when healthy, and there are teams around the league who would love to add a player of his caliber and experience for a playoff push. A team that's one piece away. A team that wants to sell tickets and generate excitement. A team that can offer him significant minutes without the pressure of championship or bust expectations. The Lakers could potentially get valuable pieces in return, whether that's young talent, draft picks, or role players who fill specific needs. And here's the critical part. By making that move proactively rather than reactively, the Lakers control the narrative and maximize return value. If they wait too long, if LeBron gets injured or his production declines further, the return diminishes. If they act now, while he's still productive and valuable, they can shape the roster around Doncic in a way that sets us up for sustained championship contention. I know this is difficult to process as fans. We've watched LeBron do incredible things in a Lakers uniform. We've celebrated his achievements, defended him against critics, and imagined him retiring with us. But professional sports are filled with difficult goodbyes, with legends finishing their careers elsewhere, with franchises making business decisions that break fans' hearts. It's part of the reality we accept when we invest emotionally in a team. The Lakers have to think about winning championship number 18, 19, and 20. They have to think about Luka Doncic's prime years and not wasting them within suboptimal roster construction. They have to think about Austin Reeves's development and giving young players opportunities to grow into bigger roles. And sometimes that means moving on from legends before fans are ready. Let me be clear about my position on this because I want you to understand where I'm coming from. I am eternally grateful for what LeBron James has done for this franchise. The championship in 2020 meant everything to this city and this fan base. His leadership, his professionalism, and his commitment to excellence have been remarkable. But I'm also a realist who understands that the Lakers' championship window with Luka Doncic is now, and every decision we make needs to be centered around maximizing that window. If that means trading LeBron to acquire pieces that make us better positioned to win titles, then, as painful as it might be emotionally, it's the right basketball decision. The future of this franchise is bright. We have Luka Doncic in his prime. We have Austin Reeves emerging as a legitimate star. We have young talent developing throughout the roster, and we have a culture of winning that attracts free agents. But we also have to make smart decisions about our veteran pieces, about how we allocate resources, and about whether holding on to the past prevents us from fully embracing the future. Before we close out, I want to hear from you. What do you think the Lakers should do with LeBron James? Should we honor his legacy and let him finish his career here? Or should we make a trade that helps us maximize our championship window with Luka Doncic? Do you think LeBron would be open to a trade, or would that damage his relationship with the organization? And where would you want to see him go if a trade did happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is one of the most important conversations we can have as Lakers fans right now. Analyzing everything we've discussed, the situation with LeBron James represents an inflection point for Lakers basketball. We're transitioning from one era to another, from one superstar to the next, and how we handle that transition will determine our success for the next decade. The arrival of Luka Doncic has accelerated this timeline and created a scenario where difficult decisions need to be made sooner than anyone expected, but I'm optimistic about where we're headed. I believe in our front office, I believe in our coaching staff, and I believe in the talent on our roster. Whether LeBron finishes his career in purple and gold or moves on to another situation, the Lakers will remain championship contenders because we have the infrastructure, the culture, and most importantly, we have Luka Doncic. Make sure you're subscribed to Lakers News Fan Report and hit that notification bell so you never miss our breaking news and in-depth analysis. We're here every single day bringing you the latest updates, honest conversations, and insider perspectives on everything Lakers. If you found this video valuable, smash that like button and share it with your fellow Lakers fans. This is a discussion our entire fan base needs to be having, and I want to hear every perspective. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. And as always, Lakers Nation, we're building something special here. The future is bright. The future is purple and gold, and the future starts now.